Now at 6, new laws in the new year could have an impact on some criminal records in the Show Me states. Plus, authorities in Joplin discover a man with a gunshot wound this morning, and a Christmas rollover crash takes the life of a Carterville, Missouri man.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some new laws in Missouri. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Anthony Saviello. Missouri will make some updates to its expungement laws and will change other laws like minimum wage. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
On January 1st, Missouri will update its expungement laws. Here's how this updated law will make it easier to clear or expunge criminal records. Expungements are the official sealing of someone's arrest or conviction. Once sealed, these records are unavailable to be seen in background checks. It also allows a person to answer no when asked if they have a criminal history on an application. Some other changes include allowing multiple charges in a single criminal incident to be grouped and expunged as a whole. Increases the number of crimes someone can seal in their lifetime. It'll go from 2 to 3 misdemeanors and from 1 to 2 felonies. It eliminates the number of infractions a person can have expunged, such as speeding or parking tickets. Once the law takes effect, people won't have to wait as long to apply. For a felony sentence, the waiting period to apply for expungement goes from 7 to 3 years. For misdemeanors or infractions, the wait time shortens from 3 years to 1. And for an arrest that resulted in no charges filed, someone can file in 18 months for expungement rather than 3 years. 4 crimes were added to the list of Class A felonies ineligible for expungement, including sexual conduct with a nursing facility resident or vulnerable person, second degree, child used in sexual performance, promoting sexual performance by a child, and cross-burning. Changes to expungement laws aren't the only changes Missourians will see in 2025. There'll also be an increase in minimum wage and stricter distracted driver laws.
Tomorrow we'll have more on new laws that will take effect in Kansas this new year. Some other laws going into effect on January 1st include the hands-free law. You face a fine starting in the new year as opposed to only warnings. If you flee an officer during a traffic stop, the new Valentine's law kicks in, making the consequences more severe, and if a driver fails to respond or pay a fine, the court can no longer issue an arrest warrant. The Oklahoma State Board of Education has suspended the teaching certification of a special education instructor who was charged in federal court with child abuse. Jennifer Enyart and her husband Keith Enyart were federally indicted on December 16, 2024, on multiple child abuse charges involving their 15-year-old. Those charges include neglect and assault with a dangerous weapon. According to documents, one of the forms of abuse was evidence of taser marks. Any teacher whose certification is suspended has the chance to appeal. That hearing will happen in January. Responders rushed a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the hospital this morning. Joplin police responded to a report of gunshots near the area of 9th and Sargent in Joplin around 9:20 this morning. On scene, they found a man with a gunshot wound to his lower leg. EMS transported the man with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The JPD says there is no ongoing threat to the area, but they could still use help from the public.
I don't have any information that'd be neighborhood specific. It's one of those where hopefully if anybody has any information, please call in the Joplin Police Department, 417-623-3131. Again, as you know, investigators work through this case trying to figure it out. If anybody has information, we greatly appreciate the help.
Investigators are working to determine the circumstances surrounding the shooting. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures were pretty good for us today, but it was gloomy. We had clouds all day long. We've had some pockets of sprinkles, but most of us dry. 60 is where we topped out. 48 was our low. Average high is 45 degrees, so a good chunk above where we should be. Looking outside now, we're still sitting mainly lower 50s. We do have some batches of very light rain, but our temperatures, they're not going to drop off too much more tonight, maybe upper 40s, and that would be just about it. So mainly sticking into lower 50s as we go through the evening hours, but showers scattered light will start to pick up. Also, we got a dense fog advisory. This is on the Kansas and Oklahoma side due to visibilities well under a mile. Still, we're going to have fog in Missouri and also Arkansas. It's just not going to be quite as thick. We have some showers kind of sneaking into our southern counties, a few popping up on the Kansas side. We'll be talking more about this here in just a bit.
Multiple agencies responded to a rollover crash early Christmas morning. Just before 12:15 a.m., Eric Drapo of Joplin was traveling eastbound on Highway HH, taking the on-ramp to Mo 171 when his SUV rolled over, ejecting Drapo from the vehicle. He was taken to Mercy Joplin, where he later died of his injuries. The Missouri Highway Patrol releases its annual Christmas traffic crash report. Troopers reported 3 vehicle fatalities over the holiday. That was out of 65 traffic crashes, 38 traffic injuries, and 17 DWIs. The numbers reflect a 30-hour counting period from 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve to 11:59 on Christmas night. Last year, troopers reported 3 fatalities during a 78-hour counting period. For comparison, there were no boating crashes or drownings during this year's or last year's Christmas holiday counting period. The fish might be biting in the Sunflower State, but that didn't stop one lake from restocking its trout supply. That story's coming up. But up first, the season of giving may be over, but we'll find out more about the season of giving back. Christmas is over, and hopefully you are excited about what you received, but if not, that's okay. Most folks have the option to return items. According to the National Retail Federation and a management company called Happy Returns, retailers expect a return of $890 billion during the 2024 holiday season. That's 15% higher than last year. KOAM's Lonnie Walton stopped by Meadowbrook Mall in Pittsburgh to see what they think is the #1 reason someone might return a gift.
Well, it's always great to go after the holiday is over.
Nathan Hensley is enjoying the day with his family. We thought he was back because he was returning an unwanted gift, but he says he's just getting started.
Yesterday being Christmas, it was such a great time to come today and see what kind of sales are out there.
Many people like sales, but if they don't like what they're getting, the process of fixing it is a problem for some.
Probably the long lines.
Probably having to get out and get in line and return it.
Good thing we didn't find any long lines today, but that begs the question, what are some of the reasons people in the 4 states return gifts this holiday season?
Well, I'm a big guy, so usually it's because they don't fit.
And that's what we've been hearing all day.
Mostly that's because of the fact that it doesn't quite fit right, or maybe it's not the color.
It doesn't fit, or
If I exchange, it's usually just for a different size.
And we found a few who say they never return gifts.
I have not, no.
Not for years upon years. No, I never really return anything. I'm usually always pretty happy with what I get.
Nope, nothing returning.
And while we were at Meadowbrook Mall, we didn't find anyone returning anything. Well, except one person.
Microwave for my truck, which didn't work, by the way, and we're going to have to take back.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
One of the top reasons for returns during the holidays is clothing size, according to 11active.com. A little later, some furniture shoppers in Joplin have the Kansas City Chiefs to thank for a refund. We'll explain.
Plus, we have some showers rolling in for us tonight. Well, it definitely turned out to be kind of dreary once again for us today, but temperatures were good. We made it up right around 60 degrees. Looks great outside right now, even though we do have the clouds. A little breezy out there. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We're looking from 7th and Joplin Street northeast through downtown. You can see the flags blowing just a bit, so yeah, it is a little bit on the breezy side. All right, today's Thursday. Our drought tracker, it updates once a week. It's been getting better. Past couple months, you can see most of us in the yellow, and that's just dry. So we can use a little bit of rain, but we don't have the extreme drought like we've kind of been accustomed to this past summer into the fall. Dense fog advisory, meaning visibility is probably about a half a mile or less. Kansas, Oklahoma, still fog in Missouri and Arkansas. It's just not going to be quite as thick, but if you're going to be on the roadways, watch out for that. Plus, on top of that, we have some showers hit and miss across the region. You can see some light showers popping up southeastern Kansas. Again, these are very light. Light showers kind of pushing into southwestern Missouri. The heavier rain is down to our south. Once you get in northwestern Arkansas and then heading over toward Branson, those areas are going to pick up the heaviest amounts of rain. So just light showers for us tonight as this wave pushes through. Right behind it, we have another one which is going to build in, giving us additional chances for showers as we go into Friday afternoon. Let me walk you through time. Scattered showers this evening picking up. So here's about midnight, light showers along that I-44 corridor. Showers start to press east by morning. So we'll start the day cloudy, foggy through the morning hours. Once the fog burns off late morning into the early afternoon, we'll start to pick up some scattered showers again, pushing through, especially Friday afternoon, and then out of here once we get into the evening hours. But cloudy skies all day long, but temperatures are going to be pretty good as we go into the upper 50s again. So rain chances go up tonight, taper in the morning, and then creep up again once we get into tomorrow afternoon. It's not going to be very heavy, especially Kansas, Oklahoma, maybe 1/10 of an inch. There may be some areas that pick up 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than that, but this is going to be fairly light rain across the region. Outside right now, we're sitting into lower 50s. Here's 7th. Here's range line at 54. Southerly winds at about 10 miles per hour. Through the evening, those showers starting to pick up, especially after 9, 10, 11 p.m. But again, all the rain's going to be light. Here's your day planner on your Friday, 49 in the morning, 55 by noon, high temp of 57 degrees. Let's go down the road. So here's this wave pushing through, another one fills in right behind it, and even a third one on Saturday. All these are little systems. Then we get a break. We have a weak system that kind of slides through on Tuesday, which of course is New Year's Eve. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But the cold Arctic air is going to start to build the second half of next week, meaning we're going to kick off 2025 feeling like January. 57 tomorrow, 60 on Saturday, 58 on Sunday, 63 on Monday. Then we drop to the 40s and 30s for highs the second half of next week. No big systems on the horizon, but keep our eyes on around January 5th or 6th.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Thanks, Doug. The Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks replenished their stock of trout at Fern Lake and Gun Park in Fort Scott today. This follows a recent decision to stock trout during the most popular months, which include December, January, and February. This allows the department to stock fewer trout, but in higher densities. The department says the restocking is necessary as trout do not reproduce naturally in Kansas.
A lot of harvest with our trout stocked pond here, and trout don't reproduce naturally here in Kansas, so we have to buy and stock trout in here to keep a high density of fish in our pond.
Trout season in the Sunflower State runs until March 31st. Well, still ahead, high school basketball in the 4 states makes its return. John Dales has the highlights from the first day of action at the Neosho Holiday Classic. That's up next in sports.
After pretty much all the high school sports take a break for the early part of this week, basketball returns today with the Neosho Holiday Classic, and several schools from across the 4 states and beyond are a part of this tournament. Neosho girls basketball playing for the first time in 10 days. They host Huntsville, Arkansas in the first round of the Holiday Classic tournament. Final seconds of the first half, Emmeline Henry just flings this backwards, and it goes in at the buzzer to give the Eagles a 2-point lead at halftime. We go to the third quarter. Becklin Garrett drives to the hoop. Shot goes in, plus a foul. After finishing the 3-point play, she gives the Wildcats the lead. A couple possessions later, Garrett dishes to Jasmine Washington, who turns around and scores down low. But then Huntsville really starts to heat up offensively. Later in the third, Maggie Ritchie cuts to the hoop wide open and finishes the easy layup. Eagles lead by 5 at that point. Next time down the floor, Brooklyn McCartney drills a 3-pointer that stretched the lead to 8. Huntsville runs away with it in the second half. Final score is 49-34. Neosho will play in the consolation bracket tomorrow at 11 a.m. Now to the boys' black bracket. Seneca basketball takes on Crooked Oak High School, who makes the trip over from Oklahoma City First possession of the game, Crooked Oak junior Jordan Martinez casually catches and shoots from a few steps beyond the three-point line, and he drills it. Seneca, though, responds right away. Jay Schulte puts his defender on skates and finds Dom Brown open down low for two. But the Roughnecks shooting would be hard to stop in this one. Here's another three-pointer, this time courtesy of Elijah Garcia. Then the full court press leads to a turnover and immediate offense the other way. Trey Martinez gets the layup to go, and he was fouled as well. Lead grows to double digits, but Seneca would hang tough in the first half. Zane Grotjon off the dribble, pulls up and hits from just inside the three-point line. Then, just about a possession later, from outside the three-point line, Grotjon hits again, but Crooked Oak would be too much for Seneca to handle. The Indians fall 77-56. They go to the consolation bracket tomorrow morning. Elsewhere, in the boys black bracket, Carl Junction falls to Benton High School 87-65. Bulldogs will play against Seneca in that consolation game tomorrow morning at 9:30. Neosho boys basketball also plays its tournament opener tonight. Wildcats try to avenge the girls team's loss to Huntsville. That will tip off at 7. Joplin girls basketball also faces Lafayette at that time. And switching over to college football, postseason action continues tonight. We are missing the team logos there, but a couple of games of note. Kansas State faces Rutgers in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. They're down by 10 at halftime. Then at 8, Arkansas State faces Bowling Green. Galena High School alum Tyler Little plays tight end for the Red Wolves. So kind of a tie-in back here to the 4 states. And I will say, too, nice to have sports kind of back after the Christmas break.
Yeah, a little bit of a break there, but yeah, it's been. We had the Chiefs play on Christmas.
That we did.
That was a good game for them as
Certainly
well, too.
was.
So, all right. Thanks, John. We'll be right back.
4-State Hero.
Well, here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We'll have more on some of the changes in store for the Social Security system in the new year. Plus, we'll find out more on how first responders pulled off a one-of-a-kind rescue operation on a Georgia mountain. And a popular South Korean series says Game on for its second season on Netflix. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Well, some area shoppers scored a touchdown this Christmas holiday. Earlier this month, Wayside Furniture in Joplin issued a giveaway challenge. If the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Day by more than 12 points, customers who bought anything in the store from December 12th through Christmas Eve would get it for free. Today, as you can imagine, customers came to collect.
Well, several times we thought they weren't going to. Like they got 12 points and then they went back and forth.
Well, that's great. I never thought we'd pull it off, but they did. Good team. Andy's done a good job with that team.
I'm happy.
Wayside Furniture has made the same offer 4 other times during the Chiefs' 3 Super Bowl appearances and the first AFC championship with Mahomes. Well, it's you shouldn't bet against the Chiefs, that's for sure.
Eyelash in my eye. Hang on.
Go take care of that.
Yeah, good. But you can bet on this weather being okay until it starts to cool down.
We are going to have hit and miss showers tonight and some dense fog, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. So be careful if you're going to be on the roadways. Showers tomorrow and then again some showers on Saturday. Temperatures, though, look pretty good.
And a final sports note.
In the NFL Thursday Night Football tonight, the Seahawks play the Bears. The Bears have lost 9 in a row since they started 4-2.
Yeah, and playoff implications for the Seahawks.
Yeah, definitely. They need to win.
Well, thanks for watching. We'll be right back here at 10. Have a good night.